Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader Guide, Sister Argenta build from level 1 to level 36, or better to say, from prologue, from Act 1 till Act 2, all the way until you start Act 3. This is a Marksman Militant Argenta, your main damage output in the game. Build is lore friendly, and how you see her on portrait is how we gonna play her. With a bolter, no flamethrowers and other weapons, only bolters. Because I like remaining in the lore of the game while playing. This build was play tested on unfair difficulty, and if it works on unfair, it will work on all other difficulties as well. Let's go.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader? Because I am. The Emperor protects.
The very first ability you'll receive as Argenta would be Run and Gun. You shoot for free, and you can move tiles and go into half cover, full cover, and whack enemies with a small penalty. Extremely good keystone feature on Argenta. On level 2, you wanna learn Demolition. On level 3, she will receive Revel in Slaughter. When she kills 3 enemies, you just click Revel in Slaughter, and for 1 action point, you're gonna gain additional damage, additional critical hit damage, and additional dodge. One of the best skills in the game, especially for a marksman. On level 4, Argenta receives Military Excellence ulti. Whenever you have Military Excellence, do not hesitate to use it. You shoot as many times as your weapon's rate of fire. So basically, the bigger in the item description, the bigger the rate of fire is, the stronger Argenta ulti is. Because Argenta is a bolter user, and I know a lot of players will say how you can play with Melta, how you can play with Flamer, and so on. Look at the portrait, she's holding a bolter. And when I say use a bolter, trust me, use a bolter. And that means you're gonna learn Bolt Weapon Expert for a 10% additional armor penetration. And you will equip 2 bolters at the same time on Argenta. Not a bolter and a flamethrower, not a bolter and Melta, 2 bolters, if you can. And later on, we're gonna prepare Argenta with a classic mini bolter and a huge bolter. Okay, so go for the bolter. After the bolt weapon expert, we're gonna go with ballistic skill. Always take ballistic skill whenever possible. The higher the ballistic skill, the more often you'll hit with Argenta, and you wanna hit because you'll be using burst fire non-freaking stop. And we are preparing Argenta to become an arch militant. For the talent, we're gonna take Unpredictable on Argenta. The bigger the agility on Argenta, the more often she'll crit, and you wanna crit a lot with Argenta because she hurts, especially with burst fire. On the next level, we take ballistic skill again, and we're gonna take rapid fire. Instead of firing 4 bullets with your bolter, you're gonna fire 8 once you click on rapid fire. One of the best skills you can take on Argenta. For the next level, we're gonna take agility, raise her dodge, and enhance crit chance. For the talent 2, tier 2 talents, we're gonna take nimble, enhance dodge even further. On the next level, we're gonna upgrade rapid fire over here with bullet hell. In other words, your rapid fire won't mitigate damage anymore. You're gonna deal exactly as you're supposed to deal without a penalty from rapid fire. So your burst attacks will hurt like crazy. For the skill check, we're gonna take Demolition. And you always wanna take Demolition with Argenta from this point on. When available, of course. For the ulti upgrade, we're gonna take upgrade 3. Very simple, you'll hit more often and you'll have additional penetration on enemies. Very, very good upgrade on Argenta and Argenta's ulti. And now, because Argenta is swallowing ammo, because you're gonna use bursts non-stop and then run a gun to play again, and then the officer gives her an extra turn, you run out very fast. Okay, and you need to reload. Reload costs 2 or 3 action points. With rapid reload, it's going to be free for the first time, and then it costs 2 action points less. From that moment on, it's gonna only cost 1 action point to reload the weapon. It's a must, and you have to do it, especially while playing on unfair. For the characteristic upgrade, we're gonna take agility. Again, additional crit chance and additional dodge. And for the final ability, we will get dash. I'll explain how dash works later on. For the skill check, this time we will take awareness, because demolition is not possible at this moment. And you want awareness, so you have someone in your team that can spot hidden stuff around you. And the next thing that you want to learn would be perception. After that, it would be swift movements. We give extra movement points to Argenta. Movement is as equally important in Rogue Trader as action points. I can say action points are a slightly bit more important, but still movement points are extremely important. So that's why the swift movements. For the next level, we're gonna learn second skin. Medium armors won't apply penalty to dodge anymore, which means Argenta will be tankier in medium armor, and she's gonna dodge more often because there won't be any penalty. Very good talent. And for the tier 2 talents, we're gonna take Grenadier, so you can whack a grenade for free. Alright, Grenadier is useful on every single companion in the game. For the final talent, we're gonna take It Will Not Die. And we're gonna raise maximum wounds on Argenta, or better to say health. And for the last one, we're gonna take awareness. The last level is ulti upgrade in the Marksman archetype, and we're gonna take upgrade 2, increase the rate of fire. Again, the bigger the rate of fire is on Marksman, especially on Argenta, the stronger she is. You want huge rate of fire. And this provides it with ulti. Your ulti will hurt a lot. What items do we want on Argenta? We want critical chance, critical damage, we want medium armor, we want bolters, and we want utility items that can provide awareness or demolition. And that's about it. The stats that are green, that's the one you want to go for. All of the stats that you see that are higher, 80, 80, 70, 50, 50, those are the stats that you want on Argenta and on all Argenta gear, basically. Now, how do we play Argenta as a marksman? First, you wanna hang onto a half cover or full cover. Then you wanna trigger rapid fire, and then you wanna use burst, and then you wanna use run and gun, and then you wanna use single attack. That's the combo, main combo for Argenta. Rapid fire, burst, run and gun, single shot, and repeat. If you have an officer, you can always trigger Revel of Slaughter once you kill 3 enemies to hurt even more. And that's it for Argenta. Once you have dash, if enemies get close to Argenta, you can move out. You don't trigger attacks of opportunity, and then you shoot enemies again. It's 0 action points, it's extremely good, and there is no second thoughts about it. It's a must. This is your escape mechanism. Also, if you can reach some enemies with a bolter, sometimes when you waste all of your movement points, you will be able to get line of sight and shoot when you use dash. Okay, do not hesitate to use Argenta's ulti, especially when there's a lot of enemies, because she deals a lot of AoE damage. And with this ulti, you wanna whack a bullet into every enemy and keep the last time available to fire for the burst attack. So it's single shot, single shot, single shot into burst fire. That's the maximum output of ulti, and you wanna whack every enemy that you can with one single shot, so you score multiple crits. When do you use Warhammer? To gain momentum. When you gain momentum, you can use ulti more often. Okay, now how do you use Warhammer? When enemies are close by, so you have maximum amount of momentum, or better to say, get that ulti faster. Do not use Warhammer outside of enemies, okay, only when they get close. That would be it for the prologue and Act 1 for Argenta. Again, if it works on unfair, it will work on all other difficulties as well. She is your main damage output in the game. You want to have an officer to support Argenta, and then you're gonna see how much she actually deals. We're gonna continue this for Act 2 and 3 when Argenta becomes an Militant. And now that we're done with the Marksman, we're gonna transfer to the Militant. Once you pick Militant, the very first keystone feature would be the right tool for the job. Bread and butter of this class. This is very good on Argenta because Bolter fires single attack shots and burst shots. As long as you keep switching between those two, you will get a right tool for the job stacks. The more stacks you got, the stronger Argenta is, or better to say, the more damage output she has. There is not much to think about. Just keep switching between different shots and you're good to go. On the next level, for the very first ability, we're gonna take Devastating Attack. Now, what is the most important here with the Devastating Attack? You can make enemies prone. You can apply a lot of different things, but the best way is to pop Devastating Attack, do a single shot on the enemy, and make them prone. You basically disable the enemy that annoys you the most in combat. You can disable high tier enemies as well with Devastating Attack if you're lucky enough. Extremely good ability on the Militant. On the next level and the first upgrade would be a Breaking Attack, or better to say, this is an upgrade to a Devastating Attack ability. Whenever you use Devastating Attack, now you're gonna reduce armor and toughness of enemies until the end of combat. Crucial. On the next level, Argenta will receive Steady Superiority ulti for the Militant. This ulti merges extremely well with her Marksman ulti, but we're gonna talk about it later. On the next level, the most important level, the power spike, would be action point gain. Now you got 5 action points on Argenta, and on the same level we're gonna learn ballistic. The bigger the ballistic, the more accurate Argenta is with her shots. On the next level, we're gonna take Distract talent. You will use burst attacks like crazy, and this is the burst attack that reduces enemies' dodge whenever you hit them by -15%. Absolutely crucial talent. And on the same level, again, we're gonna go for ballistics. Ballistics is the most important characteristic on Argenta. For the next level, we're gonna learn Wildfire. Wildfire works exactly the same like run and gun, only without movement points. You can shoot for free, so if you got 5 action points and you use basic shot and then you go into Wildfire and then you go into run and gun, you can basically shoot 3 times in a row and stack all of those right tool for the job stacks. Okay, so you're gonna hurt more and more and more, and you're gonna play a lot of times during the round. Now if you have an officer that gives her extra action points and so on, plus her ulti, I counted that my Argenta during one round placed 21 shots. That's 21 shots. Let's say that low shots were like 30 damage and crits were 60 to 80 and above. So average was like 50 or 60 damage for 21 shots. Now you did count how much damage output it is on unfair. I can imagine this on easier difficulties easily doing thousands of damage. Okay, so Wildfire is essential. And on the same level, we're gonna learn Hurt Like Hell. Hurt Like Hell is a heavy weapon proficiency basically, and why you need it? Because Argenta doesn't only use mini bolter, she also uses a heavy bolter, right? And you wanna use both bolters because they're absolutely insane. So Hurt Like Hell at this moment is a must. On the next level, we're gonna learn Demolition, because that's what she's proficient with disarming demolition traps, yeah. And on that same level, we're gonna learn Always Ready talent. You will always begin combat with 2 stacks of right tool for the job, your keystone feature, bread and butter, where your damage output comes. For the next level, we're gonna go into Strength, so we can actually use heavy weapons. We need a bit of strength on Argenta to use heavy weapons. Heavy weapons require strength. And over here, on the same level, we're gonna learn heavy weapon proficiency and reduce the requirement for strength heavy weapons by -25. Now Argenta can equip a heavy bolter as well as her own mini bolter. And now, from this moment, this is the biggest power spike on Argenta, and this is where the real pain starts. On the next level, we're gonna learn Breaking Point. Heavy weapons will now deal additional damage and they will ignore 2 deflection from enemies. Your heavy bolter will hurt even more, in other words. And for the next level, we're gonna again learn Demolition, and for the characteristic, we're gonna take Agility. The bigger the agility, the bigger the dodge. And the main defensive attribute on Argenta would be dodge. You need huge dodge, so you can dodge enemies' attacks. Simple as that. On the next level, we gain Ulti Upgrade, a steady superiority upgrade, and we're gonna opt in for upgrade 4. What it provides is to use both ultis during the single combat. So ulti from Marksman, and you can use ulti from Militant during the same combat. They stack together wonderfully, and it's a must for the first upgrade on Argenta. For the next level, we're gonna learn Demolition, and we're gonna learn Flash Fire. Now we're gonna reduce the cost of Wildfire drastically. Or in other words, to put it short, you're gonna be able to use Wildfire immediately because of the talents. You already have 2 stacks, you shoot once, that would be 3 stacks, and you can immediately use Wildfire in round 1. Again, a huge power spike for Argenta. On the next level, we're gonna learn Willpower, cause she is a priest after all, and you're gonna need Willpower for some of her priest abilities. And we're gonna learn a priest talent, okay, on a level that's called the Emperor Protects. There is a chance that Argenta will completely ignore any enemy attack. A small chance, but still there is a chance that she's gonna survive when she gets hit. For the next level and the last ability that we're gonna learn would be a Kick. Kick is not there for damage because it scales out of toughness and strength. Argenta is not that good with those 2, but it is there so you can push enemies away from you and shoot them. This is a defensive ability, the only defensive ability that Argenta has as an Archmilitant. The other one is to move without provoking attacks of opportunity from the warrior. So basically we got 2 ways out if he gets around it. On the next level, we're gonna learn Heavy Gunner. Heavy Gunner talent is also crucial, cause heavy weapons always cost 1 more action point to shoot. So if for a mini bolter on a portrait here, you need 2 action points to cast Burst Fire, you need 3 on a heavy bolter. With Heavy Gunner, you will need 2 now, same like for the mini one, but you need a talent for this, Heavy Gunner. On the next level, we're gonna learn Toughness. The bigger the toughness is, the more health, or better to say, the more wounds Argenta has. And on the same level, we're gonna opt in for Demolition. On the next level, we're gonna turn the right tool for the job into the right method for the job. A stacking critical hit chance on Argenta for each stack of right tool for the job. To put it more precise here, she's gonna start hurting like crazy this time. And on the same level, we're gonna learn a bit of agility. The bigger the agility, the bigger the dodge. Alright, on the next level we're going with toughness, raising Argenta's wounds again, and for the last talent we're gonna learn the Shield of Fate. What we do with this, we're increasing Priest's Resolve, or better to say Argenta's Resolve, so she gains more momentum, so she can cast ulti earlier in the game, and the extra benefit would be some additional armor against demons. And for the final level, for Argenta, as an Archmilitant, we have ulti upgrade, steady superiority, and we're gonna pick ulti upgrade number 1. So, what it does. When Argenta is supposed to be dead with 0 wounds, you have an extra mini life with 20% wounds back. So once she drops to 0, she's going back on, in this case, 20% out of 88, 20 and something HP, 22 HP, 20, whatever. She comes back to life, she won't die. when you use ulti. What is the gear for Argenta? The most important gear by far would be your bolters. Imperial Pride that you can find on Footfall once the quarantine is out. This is extremely important bolter against Xenos and Chaos. Alright? And the other bolter, your bread and butter heavy bolter, when I said Argenta receives a huge spike, this is it. Because she can shoot 16 bullets in a round with a heavy bolter. There is no substitute for this. No flamethrower, no freaking sniper, no melta weapon, nothing can have such damage output as a heavy bolter on Argenta. This is a must. As far as the helmet goes, we're opted in for ballistics. As far as armor goes, you can carry medium armor because she doesn't receive penalties to dodge on the medium armor. As far as trinkets go, I placed awareness and I placed right tool for the job. Combat manipulator, okay, because she is using right tool for the job. Amulet goes into revel in slaughter from the marksman ability, or better to say to enhance the marksman ability. Gloves are there for ballistics and crit, classic. Cape is there for the hit chance, or should I say critical hit chance. And boots are there for ulti. Now how do we play Argenta? I explained how it works when she is a marksman, and now she becomes an arch militant. And with arch militant, she has a devastating attack, she has wildfire, she has a kick, and she can combine all of that with revel in slaughter, with run and gun, with rapid fire, and so on. So what is the usual opening? I usually open up with a heavy bolter, alright, with rapid fire trigger, and then burst fire with a heavy bolter. Then I can either use run and gun, or I can use wildfire. No matter which two I use, if I need to move, I use run and gun, and then single attack shoot with a devastating attack trigger to drop some other enemy down. So basically, you wanna burst out opponents where there's a lot of them with rapid fire into burst, and then you wanna trigger someone with run and gun or wildfire into devastating attack, so you make them prone. And this is usually your opening. The moment, as soon as you got ulti, the very first one should always be military excellence, okay? Because you can shoot a lot of time. Just make sure that you trigger military excellence on a heavy bolter, because you have more shots on a heavy bolter. When you're fighting Xenos and Chaos, you have your mini Astarte bolter. When you're fighting everything else, you have a heavy bolter. When and if someone gets close, your defensive mechanic would be to kick them away with a kick ability, or to just dash out and shoot them. Don't forget that once Argenta is surrounded by enemies, you can always trigger Warhammer, get out with a dash, and then use rapid fire, burst fire, and gain ulti immediately. It's very good, okay, to go with like 3 kills, prepare enemies in round 1, then revel in slaughter, enhance damage, and then find 5 easy enemies to kill. Okay, because of the boots I showed you, she's gonna accumulate ulti very fast, and you can have ulti immediately at round 2. Should you use steady superiority or military excellence? Always military excellence. But when you can cast ulti again on Argenta, because her talents allow her to cast both ultis, of course you wanna trigger steady superiority as well. When you should basically trigger steady superiority is if you think that your Argenta could die in combat, because that's how she receives that extra mini life chance to survive. As I said, it's very easy to play Argenta, you just need to know how to position and keep her safe and keep her buffed non-stop. Use all of the buffs on Argenta, use additional movement points and action points from Heinrichs, use play again from Officer, debuff enemies with operatives, okay, expose their weakness, and then use Argenta to burst enemies out. She's there to kill, she's there to shoot, she's not there to crowd control enemies and utilize them or whatever, okay? She is there for slaughter. That's why you have revel in slaughter, eh? Anyways, that would be it with Argenta. The next thing that she's gonna receive is Exemplar, but that's it, some other video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader? Because I am. The Emperor protects.